up? My name is Colby Sharp. I am a 5th grade teacher in Parma, Michigan, and I'm really curious about what your school district does to help you grow as an educator. So before we get started, before I talk about my journey as an educator and the things that helped me the most, I want to know what helped you grow the most as an educator that your district did. Not that you did individually, but how did your district help you grow the most? And what does your district currently do to help you grow as a teacher or as a librarian or a principal? All right, you ready? Let's go. Yesterday, I had an amazing opportunity. My school district allowed me to spend the day where I used to teach, seeing old students and old friends and getting a chance to talk to them about the creativity project, about being creative, about chasing your dreams. It was amazing. And it got me thinking a lot about how much I grew as a teacher from when I walked into the classroom that first year to when I left to come here and teach at Parma 6 years later. And I learned so much every single day, every single week. And at that time, I didn't really know how to grow individually as an educator. I didn't know how to grow online. I didn't really know what books to read. I needed the support of my school to grow. The thing that Lakeview had in place that allowed me to grow, and I really feel like I owe any success that I've had in the classroom to this infrastructure they had in place, was a coaching model. And I'm not talking like a coach that's like coming in and like working with your kids. I'm talking a coach like is truly coaching you and helping you grow as an educator. When I was at Mingus Brook Elementary, we pretty much always had 2 coaches, and those 2 coaches would each teach in a classroom a half of a day so that they would continue to learn and grow and apply things that they're learning as a coach to their own classroom, and they could, kind of still be in it and still know what it's like to be a teacher. And then the other half of the day, they coached teachers. And then there would be like one person whose full-time job was to spend a half a day in each of their classes when they weren't in there teaching. Every single week for 6 years, that coach, my coach, whether it was Shelley Regal, Shannon Shepard, or Chris Kindy, they would come in and they would help me every single week. I had like a form I would fill out. It was called an action plan. And in that, I would just kind of talk about what I wanted to work on and answer a couple other questions. It's always what I wanted to work on. Like they could kind of guide me a little bit, or if they could see something through our dialogue to help lead me somewhere. But it was what did I want to work on as a teacher? And I would fill out that action plan, and then they would spend like 30 minutes in my classroom, a set time every single week. They would come into my room every single week for 30 minutes. Most of the time they would be watching me work on the thing that I had a question on. Sometimes they would model a lesson. Sometimes they would work with a small group. For most of the time, it was kind of just watching me, taking some notes on what I was doing, looking for the things that I needed a little bit of help on. And then usually later in that day during a special time, we had like extra special time built into our day so that we could have some time to be coached. And so it wouldn't take away from our planning time. So I would have what we call dialogue with my coach. And then we would spend, I think, 20 or 30 minutes every single week talking about my question, talking about how it went, talking about what we saw, what she saw, and what we learned. And it was amazing. It was so valuable. And then I would make another action plan for the next week so that I continued to grow. I know that if you're watching this video, you probably are trying to grow as an educator, and you're probably trying to become better every single day and every single week. But as we all know, there are some weeks where it's hard. Some weeks you're just trying to survive, or you just want to do the things that you're doing and you're not sure, like, do I have the energy? Do I have to do something new? Do I have to grow this week? Can I just be the teacher that I want to be? And I don't feel like that very often, but there are some weeks where it's exhausting. Announcement. Teachers, just a heads up. So there are these times where we just don't feel like learning. But when you have a coach, when you have that time set aside where it says you are going to learn, you are going to get better, you have no choice but to grow. And it is always such a good feeling to have that coach there to learn, and you always feel good about doing it. It's sort of like working out. Like you're not always looking forward to working out, but you always look forward to having worked out. I always look forward to having been coached. One of the things that made coaching so extremely valuable was it was not threatening at all. Like some of the teachers, I think maybe were a little threatened by it and a little worried about it, but I was just like, someone's going to teach me and I get to learn something, and it's not part of my evaluation. It's not part of anything else. And I've taught with 2 amazing principals who want to help me grow at all times, but still, at the end of the day, they are your boss. They are you in charge of whether you have a job and your evaluation and all that stuff. But this person was not. That's nothing to do with the job. Their only job was to help you grow. I wish that every school had some sort of model like this, some sort of coaching model to help us improve that tier 1 instruction, help us to meet the needs of our kids, help us to answer questions that we want help answering. I think it sets such an amazing culture of learning. I think it showed my students that I, myself, the teacher, I'm not the expert. I don't have all the answers. I'm trying to get better every single week. It really sets the tone for the feeling that we want in the class of continuous improvement, of striving to be our best, of never being satisfied, always pushing higher. Let me know in the comments below. I'm dying to know, what does your district do to help you grow as a teacher? In my new district, we have PLC, so every single Wednesday at 2:30, school usually gets out at 3:30, every single Wednesday at 2:30, the kids go home an hour early, and we have time to work in our professional learning communities. Our grade level has a chance to meet and to look at data and to set goals and kind of work on things together, kind of look at what kids are getting it, what kids aren't, what we can do, how we can work together. So what is your school doing? How is your school helping you get better? How is your school helping you get better? Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an awesome-tastic day, and happy reading.